So it has been quite some time since Lawless ended, and I felt like cooking up a review video on this season. I'm gonna separate this video into Battlepass, map, Lootpool, updates, story, and events. So without further ado, let's dive in. Battlepass was alright. My favorite skins were Fletcher Kane, Sub-Zero, and Outlaw Midas. Now, at first, I was a bit skeptical about Midas, but after seeing his other styles, yeah, the skin was saved. Cassidy, Valentina, Keisha, and Josh were alright. I really didn't use them that much. And as for Big Dill, yeah, bro, you're getting archived. I do not like you, bro. I don't know why. I'm not a fan of this skin. It just feels so off having a pickle in a Fallout heist season. Like, what is a pickle doing there, of all things? The superstars were great, and another red superstar. If you have seen my Chapter 6 Season 1 review, give it a watch if you haven't already. I elaborated on just how much I love red superstars. Anyways, moving on. The superstars were great, but which skins got them was an interesting choice, because what do you mean the only male skins that got them were a wolf and a pickle? What? Now, if they had given the superstars to anyone other than Big Dill, that would have been fine, especially since Dill had a lot of attention this season. Also, they made Sub-Zero to tier 100, why not give the styles to him? And I'm pretty sure they replaced Midas with Sub-Zero as the tier 100 because usually secret skins have 2 pages of styles, but Midas had 3, and Sub-Zero had 2 pages, so from the looks of it, it seems pretty obvious that they switched it at the last minute. Overall, the Battle Pass was alright. Now moving on to the map. Map was good. I loved the gold biome, although I am kinda sad that it replaced Night Shift Forest, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Crime City was great and all, but someone tell me, why is it so damn small? Like, it's a city for crying out loud. Crime City should have been as big as Seaport City. I will say this though, I loved the aesthetic of Crime City. When you entered the city, the sky immediately changed from regular to cloudy, similar to Night Shift Forest, in which if you enter, the entire sky turns into night. I don't know why, and if it's just me, but why does Fletcher Kane's mansion, aka Lone Wolf, it looks like Drake's mansion? Like, you guys are seeing the similarities here too, right? Midas probably said to Fletcher, yo Kane, I heard you like him young. Shifty Chefs were the mines of Fortnite. Outlaw Oasis was quite the underrated place to land, and the Outlaw quests, oh boy, they were crazy. If you managed to complete all of them, all you gotta do was land at a black market and you were guaranteed a dilbit just by opening the Outlaw chest, and let's just say the entire lobby landed at the Rogue Repairs black market. The guns were really fun to play around with. My favorite gun has gotta be the collateral damage AR. Because this bad boy sprayed so fast, it was so merciless. They really should have named it the Merciless AR, like seriously. The Mammoth Pistol made a return with a mythic variant and it was OP. What was great about the mythic version was that it had a mag size of 2 bullets instead of 1. Meaning that you could pretty much two-shot headshot someone in ZB. The Kneecapper was the Typhoon Blade's distant cousin because it was overpowered. And honestly, I prefer this over the Typhoon Blade. Also, something I want to add on here is that if you combine Kane's Medallion, aka the Unstoppable Medallion, the Gold Effect, and the Kneecapper, you would go really fast, especially if you got the slap effect from the Adrenaline boon. The Falcon Eye Sniper was alright to use. I didn't use this weapon a lot considering that the Mammoth Pistol was in game. What I did like about the Sniper though is that you could change the zoom of the scope. The Suppressed Pistol made a return and it was underrated. This thing shreds. Gold splashes were like regular chug splashes, but it made you go faster, it made you swing your pickaxe faster. Not gonna lie, it was quite hilarious. You could also get this effect by swimming in gold water or breaking the golden rocks. They later added the Outlaw Shotgun, and that was garbage. Get that out of my screen. The Rocket Drill was also later added, and it was pretty much the Rocket Ram V2. Speaking of the Rocket Ram, it got unvaulted in the last update of the season, but it got changed to having 10 uses. And honestly, I would have preferred durability over this. The pulse scanner was useful when I'm robbing the vaults. I usually place it nearby so that it can alert me of third parties. Speaking of robbing banks, this season introduced us to robbing banks, trains, and armored transports, and honestly, it was fun, especially the train. The loot was very rewarding. The banks and train chests gave, well, the banks and the train gave 2 dilbits, chests, and a lot of gold. While the armored trucks didn't have any gold or dilbits, it compensated for that by giving either the mythic Twin-Fire Shotgun, Suppressed Pistol, or the Striker AR. Sub-Zero's gauntlets were alright, I did not use them that much. We later got Scorpion's combat kit, which was much better than Sub-Zero's in my opinion because you could combo combo the hookshot with a shotgun. We also got Scorpion's Mythic, which had no durability and slightly better stats than the regular Scorpion kit, which, you know what, should have been the Typhoon Blade back in Season 1. Oh man. A lot of exotics were later introduced and they were really fun to play with. My favorite one has got to be the Shockwave RPG from Batch 1 because it was really fun to play with, especially with friends in creative, because I would RPG them and they would fly out. Midas's drum gun made a return and it got an upgrade. It was quite an insane weapon considering it's a drum gun. It is the first drum gun with first shot accuracy. Also, the thermal scope, instead of the thermal colors, it's gold. I'm still waiting for this drum gun to be in creative, by the way. Brutus's minigun also made a return and it is still pretty OP. I mean, just look at this clutch. Then I think in the third update of the season, the exotic switched to new ones, and the explosive pistol was pretty funny to use, I'm not gonna lie. My favorite one from this batch has to be the exotic Accelerate Hollow Twister. The fire rate increased as you shot more and more bullets. Medallions this season were actually pretty decent. We had Cade's medallion, which is basically Megalodon's medallion from Wrecked. Then we got the Super Shield medallion, which basically spawned in a mini shield bubble every time you healed, and it was dropped by Shogun X. Why is he still here? Didn't he die in the event? We later got Scorpion's First Blood medallion, which makes the first bullet that hits the opponent explosive. Which, yeah, it's quite crazy, not gonna lie. There were a couple of updates this season, so I'll go over the ones that I think were important. The first update is the Outlaw Midas update, which came out on March 11th. With this update, we got the return of Brutus's minigun, a revamped version of Midas's drum gun, and new exotics. There were 2 waves of exotics, and with the Midas update, it released the first wave. These exotics were quite fun to use, and I loved the rocket launcher. I trolled my friends in creative with this thing. We also got the rocket rollers update, which was alright. I didn't use it much. Also, the puppet dump was in the game for the first time. Well, technically it was unvaulted because it was in Team Rumble and it was working just fine, although for some reason Epic decided, yeah, we'll just release it in the first update. And the puppet dump was actually quite fun to use. Also, the mythic pump shotgun moved to the tray. Another thing that I found funny is that ever since Midas's drum gun came back, it literally half the lobby lands at rogue repairs. Also because the Rift Launcher was there. The second update was the second wave of exotics, which was awesome. I loved the Accelerate Hollow Twister AR and the Slapjack because the Slapjack did not have durability on it, which is what the Slap Cannon should have been. Anyways, I loved how the more you fired, the faster the shots were on the Hollow Twister. The Slapjack was goated. It had 400 charges, which was good. The third update, or as I like to call it, the Mortal Kombat update, and this was quite a fun update and all, but Epic, where was the game mode? In case you did not know, according to leaks, we were supposed to get an MK game mode, but it got scrapped at the last second. There was even a trailer for it called Classic Combat. Even though I wish we got that mode, I was still happy with this update because Scorpion came through the game as a boss with his own mythic and medallion. I didn't use the medallion much, I mostly used his mythic, and using his mythic got me wondering, why wasn't Sub-Zero a boss? Sub-Zero having a mythic version of his combat kit would have been fun. But hey, you know what, as they say, there's nothing we can do about it. Scorpion's kit was a lot of fun to use, and I prefer this over Sub-Zero's kit. The last update that I think which was important was a week after. Yes, I'm talking about the Wave 1 and 2 exotics returning and being randomized in black markets. Meaning that half of the lobby could no longer land at Rogue Repair's black market, where Midas's drum gun and Rift Launcher was. Although despite this change, quite a few people landed there. We also got Sabrina Carpenter Festival, marking the end of Hatsune Miku's run. There were actually 2 storylines going on. The first was for this season and the second was for the Hunt of the Zero Shard. I'll start with the one that was meant for this season. After Daigo's clash with Shogun X, the spirit drum exploded, leaving gold all over, and Kane, who was Midas's old acquaintance, decides to harvest as much gold as possible. In Lawless, Kane has enough gold that he starts a mining company known as Alpha Mining Company. Yes, that's the actual name of the company. Don't ask why it's called that. I'm not the one who made this up. And creates Crimson City. He has also started banks all over the island. However, he has made everything so damn expensive, it resulted in crime being everywhere. And also the criminals decided to set up black markets, and since there was crime, it turned Crimson City into Crime City. And from here, some of the stuff is just fillers. Skillet wants to blow Kane's stuff up, and Josh does not believe in magic. Also, the Baron, aka Kane, hexed everyone. There's really nothing much in the storyline up until Midas's quests. In the Midas quest, we first gain Midas' trust by doing his shadow briefings. After that, we then gain the trust of the outlaws by spending gold in the black markets. We then test the hunch that Midas has by equipping a sensor backpack, and if he's correct, he said both him and us, the looper should recognize this energy. And I don't know if you know this, but this is the first time in the story where anyone would want our opinion, which is crazy because usually we're told to do this and that and blah blah blah. But asking for our opinion is crazy. Anyways, moving on. It turns out that Midas' hunch was right and that these energy fragments were in fact residual energy from the 0 point. We then go into Daigo's basement to get his mask making book and give that to Midas. Now again, there's more filler up until Wanted Baron. I'll explain the filler real quick. Midas tasks the outlaws to rob banks, and Cassidy here is a big fan of Midas. However, her friend Keisha is worried about her, so we just make sure she's alright. Yep, that's literally all. We're just a bodyguard from Quinn. Now moving on to Wanted Baron. Midas tasks us with infiltrating Lone Wolf Lair and finding out Kane's next plan. However, we find research regarding the 0 point shard which concerns Midas. So we rob Kane's safe at Lone Wolf Lair only to find less bars than usual, which drives more concern. Then a mysterious golden mask is found and the two and two are put together. Kane and Daigo are working together. We then rob convoys to see if the henchmen have any orders. After that, we go into Daigo's workshop only to find the machine up and running again and more gold bars. After reporting this to Midas, he realizes what Daigo and Kane are doing. Kane is giving Daigo enough gold to make a mask powerful enough to breach into the spirit realm. Also, Daigo is most likely to betray Kane if he succeeds. After that, Midas admits that if we were to stop them, we'd have to team up with Jones and Hope. After we defeat Kane, Daigo goes into the portal and gets corrupted, and that's the story for this season. Now moving on to the other one. In the aftermath of the Daigo vs Shogun X event, Hope is frantically trying to find a way into the spirit realm. Also, the ship Kendo X Hope is a real thing now. I just thought I'd throw that out there. The Nitros is also free but doesn't know what to do with her life. She also senses something, but perhaps it's nothing. Guys, this is definitely teasing that nothing's returned. Trust me, trust. Anyways, Jade is also free and can sense a connection to the sprites and feels the heartbeat of the island. That's pretty much it. This storyline specifically was put on hold for the entire time. Now as for the events, well, there were no events. It was just Daigo trying to go back into the spirit realm but failed numerous times. While this season was good, I wish they'd fixed a few things. Firstly, they should have given Sub-Zero super styles because the only male skins that got super styles were a pickle and a wolf. They could have replaced Big Deal and gave the super styles to Sub-Zero instead. Secondly, they should have removed the durability on the slap cannon. It's bad enough that the cannon takes up 2 slots, but durability? It's an exotic. Why does it have durability? Now don't get me wrong, I like durability. It teaches you how to use something properly. And you know how to, carefully use it. But perhaps not on the exotics, because they already cost a lot. Thirdly, they should not have scrapped the MK game mode because that would have been fun. Fourth and lastly, they should have made a mini event. But you know what, it's fine. While Chapter 6 Season 2 Lawless has its flaws, it's still one of the most chaotic seasons I've ever experienced. And I've had my fair share of fun actually. And you know what, I'm actually starting to miss Lawless. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And without further ado, peace.